few minutes, you can go to the next slide. So we started doing town halls I think this summer, and have committed to doing them every quarter just to kind of update the church and what the leadership team is up to. And of course, one of the big things that we talked about the past few months is moving to this new space and living into it, which has been exciting. And some of y'all have come to be a part of our church. This is the only space that you've known so far at Storied Church, so that's really awesome. You can go to the next slide. Wanted to share with you a statement that we have as a reconciling United Methodist congregation, that we welcome, affirm, celebrate people of all sexual orientations, gender identities, gender expressions of every age, race, economic background, immigration status, and abilities as some we aspire to, work towards, and hopefully that we continue to work towards. Our values, we believe every story matters. You see that on a lot of things that we have. Try to be inclusive and affirming as possible that we can be. We believe every story is unique. We encourage authenticity and realness, providing a space where we can be best as possible our most authentic self. And we believe every story deserves to be told. Not so much that every story needs to be told in public. I've gotten that question. But that we find safe spaces where people can walk in their stories are told and have a safe space. And we believe in the power of curiosity, asking questions about our faith, our journey. I can go to the next slide. Some of the things in our life, we have been at work this past year, and we had a potluck in January to start off the year, which is really fun. Our midweek gatherings at Trackside have been a really great time. Part of our thing at Trackside is that we're always pulling chairs out and putting extra tables, and I just love that. I feel like that is the church, and so really have that's been beautiful. Our Sunday topical group, which has been really great, has started on Sunday evenings and beautiful. And we've, I'm not going to list all of these, but we started the Family Park Meetup, which has been awesome to connect with parents and form some relationships while our kids play. And as you'll see coming up this month, we'll have our Palm Sunday gathering at Holt Street. We'll also be at the Dogwood Festival in April. And there's a lot of great things that have happened in the community. You see some of that in our highlights here, and just some of the things we celebrate. There's no doubt, as when Tim comes up, we have some obligations that we have to work toward, especially in terms of funding our community. And but it is not to say that, man, it is so awesome to be here, live through COVID, come to a new space, and the generosity of this community. And so, I just celebrate all these things that are rising up among us, and I'm so grateful for our leadership team and all their hard work in making life happen. You can go to the next slide. We want you to be engaged in the life of the church. What are your gifts, talents, and your passions? Of course, if you're new with us, I always preface this if you're new and you're trying to get to know the church, get to know the church before you start giving time to the church. Get to know some of the people in the church. Make that discerning, not feeling like you have to come in here and do something. But when that time comes, sometimes quicker for other people and longer for others, what ways can you offer yourself to the community? And also you can keep up with some of the things in our community by the webpage. You can find the calendar and also see where our leadership team assignments are. And I said 10 minutes, and so I'm going through this quick. And so so ways you can contribute exciting things in the life of our church. how you can be a part of that, and obviously volunteering on Sunday. Many hands make Sunday happen, which is really really awesome. So Tim is the chairperson of our leadership team, the chairperson holds a lot of hats, and he's been doing a really great job. And I'm going to hand it off to him to do the last few minutes.
Excellent. Yeah, we are going to get through this. Next slide. So this is a chart that came out in our last leadership team retreat. You may have seen this before. We've shared it with you before. Our structure on this leadership team, and I want to introduce everybody just to remind everybody who everybody is. Obviously, Jason is our pastor. I'm serving as the chair. It's a 3-year commitment. I'm in my 2nd year, and I'll roll off, and hopefully one of you will take over. We have Elaine and Louise. Where are they at? Right here. If you don't know, I guess Elaine's gone. Yeah. So they're serving as trustees, and Louise is in finance. We have a vacancy right now. We have a treasurer. Don't be scared. This isn't a CPA. This is somebody that we just need a second person to kind of oversee expenditures and making sure that there's 2 eyes on everything. So if that's something that is very attractive to you, we need that person. We need that person. Okay. Heather is serving. Where's Heather at? Right here. Heather is serving as our support person. She's the one that does a lot of social media that you read. She's dealing with a lot of the hospitality stuff. The greeting, what you see back here, a lot of it is Heather's putting together. And then Amy right here, Amy and Louise wears another hat in community engagement. They're involved in a lot of those things that you saw earlier in the slide, where we're out there on Pride Week or Dogwood Festival. They make sure that stuff happens. And then Gaddy is in spiritual formation. Jason talked about next week after the service. That will be an opportunity to, if you're new to the church and want to learn more about the church, there's going to be an opportunity for getting some more information. And this is another vacancy that we have right now. Currently, Jason is wearing that hat also. So we have 2 vacancies. We have this vacancy that you could plug in here. We may shuffle it up, but we need to have 2 more positions filled on this leadership team. Leadership team is a commitment for 3 years, and then you roll off, and we want new people coming all the time. All right. There are other opportunities. If you're not wanting to be on this leadership team, we meet once a month, the first Sunday at 5 o'clock, and we are going to be usually involved in an annual retreat. But if that's not your gig, that's fine. There's other opportunities. Okay. You saw earlier your gifts, your talents. There's all kinds of opportunities out there, the ways to serve. We have a new nominations team. This is actually, Jason is heading it up, but it's Leslie, Dawn, and Bradley. They actually nominate the people to serve on this team. This follows United Methodist, I guess it would be their structure, how we do things. So that's why it's like this. It's not just us thinking it up. It follows a bigger structure. And of course, the ministry teams, we don't really have anything nailed down. This is where we can get people involved. If you want to be involved in fundraising, if you want to be involved in spiritual growth, there's ways that you can be involved without having to be on the leadership team. So keep that in mind. There's all these, I love the pointer, man. You need a pointer. Be aware there's opportunities to serve in different ways. Okay, next slide. And I'll blow through this really quick. Again, you can see that there's just this structure we're trying to follow. We have a retreat coming up in April. We're going to discuss ways that we can address some of our needs. If you as an individual if you have a comment, if you have a concern, if you have a suggestion, any of the people, Jason, myself, Amy, Louise, Elaine, Heather, Dad, any of these people you can talk to. And we have our emails are actually on the webpage. Send us something, let us know, if we're missing something. I know in a couple weeks I'd like to have a survey put together for communication. Some people have told me they have a hard time keeping up with stuff, and we all have a hard time between text and emails and all that stuff. it is sometimes difficult. So if there's a better way for us to communicate what's going on, how you can be engaged, how you can be involved, we want to know that. So look for that. Examples of these ministry teams, you could be help just coordinate volunteers for an event. That's a one-time event, Dogwood Festival, right? That's a pretty big thing for us. We've had a lot of interaction during Dogwood Festival, or it could be Pride Week, or it could be Juneteenth. It could be a lot of different things. But we need people, and not just the same people over and over. We want new people. That's how you get much better product in the end. The other thing is just looking for ways, maybe there's an opportunity that you can see we can partner with somebody that we're missing out on. And there's a lot more stuff out there that we're not doing just because we need people to help coordinate. If you're passionate about picking up trash and you want to, work for a group to meet together and we pick up trash, then I think you should go for it. So next slide. So this is the financials. This is what nobody likes to talk about, but I like to look at this as an opportunity. First of all, the graph kind of, during my transition, it kind of broke apart right here. So just connect these lines together, okay? IT is not my gig, okay? But if you remember, this was the blue line. I don't know if you can see all the color. The blue line represents giving. It's our tithes, offerings. It's what we give as a congregation to support our work. And if you also remember, the North Carolina United Methodist Conference, they contribute too. We're a pioneer church. There's no other church out there that's supporting us. They're supporting us from the conference level. And we were supposed, that conference support was supposed to end last year. Jason and I were very successful to get them to extend that out. So you'll see that what happened was back in November, it dropped down because that was when it was supposed to drop down. And then we got them to get back online. So we bounced back up, and now this line will go like that at least for another 16 months. Okay, but however, in July 1, this actually will drop down to about there. So this currently is about $3,700. That will end in July. It'll drop down, I think, to half that. So we just have to be aware of this. We have to stand on our own feet. We have to do that. There's no way around that. And so we have to not only get to where our expenses, which are the green line, pardon the break, and the orange or the yellow is the combination of these two. So if you just look at these two, and I don't have January's on here, but in January they crossed, which is great. We want this yellow line to be above the green line, and that was really, really great. And I really applaud each and every one of you for contributing. But our work's not done, and we got to continue. If you talk to people in the world of industry and manufacturing, it's continuous improvement. Here we are. We got to continuously improve because in July 1, we got to make up for about $1,500 to $1,600, $1,700 because that's going to go away. Okay. And if you look in this thing, the report, you'll see that we're supporting our local community. We had like over $2,000 go to some of these like Yoder or Hill Elementary or Benevolence Farm. So this isn't just staying here. We're out there in the community. So we're very fortunate that a grant, we secured a grant a few years ago, is paying for the rent here. So we were really fortunate, and that will run out in probably 3.5 to 4 years. So it's not on our radar right now, but eventually that will be on our radar. But right now, we're dealing with what's at hand. So, I do agree with that. Piper, there's your runner right there. So, I want everybody to know this, not to give you anxiety or angst, but we need to have a little bit of a sense of urgency to get ourselves to where we can have this up and make up for that $1,500, $1,600 that's looming come July 1. So, next slide. I'm going to give you a chance to ask questions if you ask the questions at the end. So, bottom line, we need to recognize our financial obligations. And this ties in real nicely to what Jason said earlier, that rhythm. If financial giving is important to you, it's a great opportunity to get into a rhythm of giving something on a regular basis. It's much easier if you just get into that rhythm. and a meaningful rhythm. Jason talked about sustaining life in meaningfulness. This is a great opportunity. However, again, it may not be that for you right now, but there's other ways to support us. You saw the volunteer opportunities. You saw ways you can get involved. We need it from all aspects, okay? So we're going to continue to meet these goals that we've set for 2024. After this, directly after this, I'm going to meet with anybody that wants to talk about a mission project that I've been involved with for many years. I know that there's some of you that have teenagers or know people with teenagers. This is an opportunity to get a group that we have not been serving very well, which are teenagers in our church, to get them involved. So we're going to see if there's an interest. If there's an interest, I'm in. If they're not, maybe there's another way, but let's start with a conversation. So that's a goal we had, which was to get the youth involvement. This facility was a goal. We met that. So we're going to continue to set these measurable goals that we can continue to hopefully meet. Includes, this is other stuff that we have, like data management, communication. Again, I'm going to survey people, see if we can do better. We're going to find consistent methods to manage these events. That's where you come involved. We can't rely on 2 or 3 or 4 people to do it all. That's not good. You wear them out, they get burnt out, plus the end product's not going to be good. And that will die wither on the vine. We need people that will constantly be involved. So think about it very prayerfully and consider what you can do. And you saw the opportunities. Next slide. So questions for me or for Jason or anybody, any comments? Did you have anything? Because this is a time, we're all here, we're family here. So
I did want to say one, thank you to Tim. Tim has really helped, get us organized and structure, as a community. Like every year we're going to be growing up, learning new things, doing new things. Part of our retreat, what we're focusing on is really intentionally looking at our mission as a community. What is our mission as a community, and what that looks like, and part of that will be inquiring with you and our congregation to really develop because a lot of this church was developed, when there was nobody. And so now it's like there's a somebody, and so now it's kind of like we're building an identity, and so thank you, Tim, and thank you all for staying. And I also did want to make note. I think sometimes when you look at the financials, you can kind of see it. The North Carolina UMC conference, that's their support, and so that number will dramatically drop down this year. Gratefully, we also started out last year with a surplus from a gift from a church, Centenary United Methodist Church, and so we spent all the surplus of that in our. So if you think about it, that is going down our conference, and we have no surplus this year, and so. But gratefully, we have seen people step in, and we don't pass an offering plate, which was the ingenious of the 20th century church having to deal with the church the government no longer funding the church, and so we're in the same place. But never think that your offering is too small, because it is not. If you can give $20 a month and then 10 people join you in giving $20 a month, you're going to make an impact. And it also does something for us, is that we know that money's coming in, and so it's really meaningful. And so, but in all of that, I want to just say thank you all so much. Thank you. Y'all are awesome, and I'm so excited. Yes, there are challenges that we have, there are obstacles, but I'm so excited to go on this journey together. So go in peace.
you.